Welcome. We're back, getting ready for a new week, just preparing. I have a lot to talk about, from crypto to short squeezes to potential Reddit stocks that could go crazy, to just regular swing trade setups that look good. We're going to do ticker requests eventually, probably in like, half an hour or so. I'll let you know when we're doing ticker requests. Until then, don't drop tickers in the chat just yet. Futures, a little bit green, not too crazy. And yeah, what's up, Rooster, Braden, Medi? Hope I said it right now. Jordan, and yeah, we're gonna kind of get right into it. While people are hopping into the stream, we'll talk about Bitcoin for a little bit. The chart, finally, it looks pretty good. I mean, Bitcoin's already broken out and confirmed to break out of this descending broadening wedge. We even had a partial decline over here, hence the breakout, high probability. Next resistance is around 42k on Bitcoin. It's the 200-day moving average. That's the previous high, previous low. That's, in my opinion, where Bitcoin could be headed to next, alongside a lot of other altcoins that are looking pretty good. We already have the FIL trade, which at one point was up way more, but now it's starting to reclaim that 200-day moving average, looking nice. I put out 3 new trades today. One of them was banned, pretty much a double bottom at the PCZ of close to a bullish cipher. This could be great if it can get back above 738. Tezos, anything above $3 on Tezos is bullish in my opinion. That's also a double bottom at the PCZ of a cipher. Also put out a chain link trade. We go over to the 4-hour. Bullish Gartley, double bottom, classic bullish divergence on the MACD and RSI. Beautiful chart. It's above $20, which was a high from August of last year, and now it's becoming your support. So altcoins, I mean, so many altcoins are showing harmonics. If you watch Mitch Ray's stream, he showed a lot of them tonight. And yeah, a lot of altcoins look pretty good finally. Bitcoin's looking pretty good finally. On top of that, there's a couple news articles on Bitcoin. First off, Musk saying Tesla will accept Bitcoin again if crypto miners use more clean energy, which he's already been trying to work on for maybe a few weeks now, trying to get things in place. Alongside that, alongside that, we have Taproot. I did not know about this until today. It's some sort of upgrade to Bitcoin's protocol, and it needed, I think, a certain threshold of mining capability to lock in like an approval process, which I believe is taking place or has taken place. And if everything works out correctly, I believe this can boost Bitcoin's transaction privacy and allow for more lightweight and complex smart contracts, which is huge, especially for Bitcoin. You already see smart contracts and other things such as Chainlink, the new trade. So we'll see how all that affects things. That's really it for crypto. I mean, we'll see how this all plays out. That's that. In terms of going into the stock market this week, we got a hefty amount to talk about. If you're in the Discord, the link is in the description for the Discord. I did probably like a 1-hour session today, just like a group question and answers call. While I was doing that call, I was sharing my screen and just scanning for stocks. Found, around 10 tickers. If you were watching or if you were in the call, you would have seen which tickers they were. If not, and if you're a premium member, I already sent you a full watch list with how I would, look at the risk to reward on each one of those charts. Not official trades yet, but just things I'm looking at going into the week. I'm also going to chart a bunch of other things to everybody in the stream. So however I can help out, I'm trying to help out premium. I'm trying to help out everybody else in the Discord. I'm trying to help out all of you on the stream. I'm just trying to show a bunch of different charts and just get my opinions on them. So yeah, futures actually bouncing as we speak. Let's talk about the S&P 500. It's good until it's not, We're still in the bull market. We're at all-time highs. The last 2 days, we've had the highest closes ever on the S&P 500. Friday was a pretty good day for the market. The Russell was up 1%. S&P and NASDAQ were up about a third or, around a 1/4%. They're up a decent amount. Pretty decent day on Friday. Thursday was like the opposite, very volatile day on Thursday, especially if you're in those more hyped up names. They kind of pulled back pretty harshly on Thursday. But a lot of them did recover on Friday afternoon, which I'll also talk about. It's a very important point. Looking at the S&P 500, any day that you close above 4,238 is bullish in my opinion. That was your previous all-time high from the beginning of May. You're now regarding that as support for 2 days in a row. That's pretty bullish. Also, closing at the highest levels ever is pretty bullish as well. The only issue is that you have potential classic bearish divergence on the daily, on the 4-hour, potential triple classic bearish divergence on the 4-hour. So I'm continuing to watch the MACDs. We have never confirmed this. This is why I've been saying for probably over a week now, you gotta wait for them to confirm, because unless they confirm, they're not real, you know? So it's pretty close to happening. If we get probably one big red day for the S&P 500 this week, it could flip over the MACDs to red, and that's where things can get pretty rough, where you have gap fills to the downside. One over here at 4,200, another gap fill at 4117. But as long as we continue to close above 42.38, don't have to really worry about that. So the way I'm looking at it is like, I'll continue to be bullish until I have a reason not to be, until we get the MACD crossover to red, until we start really breaking previous levels. And that's really it. If we take a look at the S&P 500 ETF, you can see that you certainly are getting declining volume, which is not a great sign. We were getting that quite a bit. Where was it? I think it was around over here. We were seeing that declining volume, especially on the daily is what it looked like. Yeah, you had this big spike in volume, you were getting declines in volume, getting declines, and then you had that rough pullback pretty much around like May 5th to May 10th-ish, or May 12th. And then you had an incline in volume, and then on the way back up, we've been declining in volume again, which is not the best sign. Really, if you look at the technicals on the market, it kind of just reads that we're fine for now, but things could change within the snap of a finger, and you have to be ready if they decide to change, right? We're very, very slowly marching up. We're in a very tight area, but we are pushing higher at the end of the day. So it's good until it's not. That's the easiest way to put the S&P 500. Just manage your risk. It will probably pull at some point. No way to know when. You could probably guess. Maybe it'll be right. Maybe it'll be wrong. But remember, I believe there's a stat that last year more people actually lost money trying to anticipate the end of this bull market, you know, than like ever before. Like just pretty much managing risk, getting puts and selling calls and all those different strategies. But we'll see what happens. That's really the idea going into the week. It's good until it's not. Russell is still broken out of this symmetrical triangle. That's great for small caps. We've been having a lot of good small cap action as well as growth stocks. NASDAQ, I think there's like a 1 hour, yeah, it pretty much closed right at the PCZ of a 1 hour bearish bat with also 1 hour classic bearish divergence. But again, it's just not really performing, you know. So until we really see some actual selling pressure, it's going to be a lot tougher for bearish technicals to play out. I will be going over meme stocks tonight, and I'm also going to explain why. We're also going to be going over highly shorted stocks. We're probably about to do it in like 2 or 3 minutes. I just want to finish covering the overall market. Then I'm going to get into highly shorted stocks, Wall Street bet stocks, and I'll explain why, because I usually stick to the quieter names. I usually don't play those crowded names, but I'm going to explain why I'm looking at a lot of them and how I've actually traded quite a few of them in the last couple of weeks, and it's actually working pretty well. So moving on from the NASDAQ, what else? 10-year, just trying to hold on to this 145 level that used to be a support over here. We'll see if it can hold it. Not much to talk about there. And the VIX is we actually had the lowest close on the VIX since pretty much the COVID crash on Friday. That is very interesting. Very, very interesting. That is something you want to keep in mind. You closed at the lowest level since the COVID crash. I mean, obviously that kind of correlates to having the highest close on the S&P 500 since the COVID crash, but we're pretty much at the steepest point of this bull market. And of course, I'm not saying it's ending here. All I'm saying is just look for context, right? Where were we, you know, on May 10th? We were in a very different place than we are exactly 1 month later. Pretty much a lot has changed in the last 30 days. How you doing, Medic? We'll do ticker requests probably in like half an hour for everybody asking for tickers. And yeah, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're about to talk about a lot of individual names now. We could start off with Clover. This week, I don't think we have that much important data coming out compared to last week. I do believe that there is an FOMC meeting on Wednesday, potentially going into, or maybe even Tuesday. It says the 15th and the 16th. I also read somewhere that apparently Powell will be speaking at some point midweek. So we'll see how all that plays out. But other than that, I don't think we're gonna have too many important data numbers. If Chet freezes in the chat, I'm sure she will correct me. I'll explain this in a second here. And let's just look at Clover first. All right. very strange what happened with Clover on Friday. So obviously you had a crazy day on Tuesday. It was amazing. Then if you watched the streams last week, I was able to predict the high on both Tuesday as well as Wednesday. Then Thursday, I talked about that $17 level. I said how important it was. It broke that level, and you obviously saw a continuation to the downside after breaching that $17 level on price. My next level I was looking for was $13.20. You came down to $13.40, 20 cents off, and then you got a pretty interesting bounce, and I'll show you why. If we go down to, I think, the 15-minute, you actually started developing this inverse head and shoulders on Clover. So if you look at the daily, there's really no technicals to talk about, no bullish or bearish technicals. It's just kind of like you're in between support and resistance. There's no pattern or divergence. But if you go on to the lower time frames, it's pretty interesting. You have that inverse head and shoulders. I think there's also hidden bullish divergence on the 30-minute. I wish that we were getting these low time frame setups down in this range at the gap fill at the previous support resistance areas, but we're not. So just gotta take it for what it is for now. I'll be watching Clover tomorrow morning. Really, we'll see what happens. I do have some options on Clover, but I'm good with whatever does happen. Not a crazy amount. So that's really it for Clover. I wish there was more to talk about, but at this level, it's not the clearest signal to either side. That's just the fact of the matter. That's what happens when you go from $7 to $28 and then you correct. The crazy move already happened. Will we get another bounce back up because we went from 28 down to 13? We'll see. Will we continually falling because we're still way higher than we were, a few weeks ago? We'll see. There's no way for me to know that. But when I see a technical edge, I'll make sure to share it on the stream, on Twitter, on the Discord, and we'll see what happens after that. If you remember, on Thursday night stream, which was my last stream, I was talking about UWMC. I talked about how similar it looked to Clover, how I was bullish on UWMC. It went up 6% on Friday, the day after that stream. It also went up another 3% after hours. The CEO went on Mad Money with Jim Cramer. It's been getting a lot of Wall Street Bets chatter. There's been reports of this having a short interest between 20 to 30%. I've seen both sides of the reports. Definitely, I think most people agree that it's not close to Clover's short interest, but it still is potentially a squeezable short interest. But I have not actually seen any official data, so go do that research yourself. But I don't really care too much about the short interest on this one. I'm just looking at this 200-day moving average that is closing above it for 3 days in a row for the first time in its history, that has broken the supply line, that is back over 10, which used to be the support when it was a SPAC. Those are the things I'm looking at, and it's been one of my most profitable tickers ever. Had a huge day on it last Wednesday. I've been holding some options. They were up a very decent amount on Friday when this was up. If it also has another green day tomorrow, since it was green after hours, we'll see what happens. I'm not telling you to get in here. I've been talking about it since down over here. We'll see what happens. UWMC is currently my largest holding. If I need to sell, I'll sell. I'm saying? This is not something I'm talking about investing into. It's just currently my best trade, and that could change any day of the week. So I'm not married to this trade at all. It's just my best performing trade in the short term. That's really it for UWMC. Another one. So another thing I want to talk about, these Wall Street Bet stocks. Typically they're not my cup of tea. Speaking of, I do have some tea. Typically I don't trade them. If you've been following me for a while, I like to stick to the regular growth names that are kind of quiet. I like getting in them before the crazy moves. Most of these Wall Street Bet stocks have already had crazy moves, and a lot of them had super rough days on Thursday, if you remember, and that actually has allowed for a lot of them to start showing some pretty interesting potential on lower time frames. If we look at BlackBerry, we go down to the 30-minute chart. You can see it's holding this 1370 support level. That's a very historical level. Used to be resistance in February of this year. Zoom out a little bit. So many times. Back over here was support in 2013. It was also resistance in 2018. It's trying to hold that level. Put in a nice move on Friday afternoon. Same thing if I bring up the AMC chart. This one, we go over to the 1 hour. falling wedge, hidden bullish divergence. It went up like 16% in 2 hours or something, maybe a little bit longer, never mind, but it went up 16% on Friday. So a lot of them, even GME put in a crazy bounce off of that 220 level, I believe. Not a crazy bounce, but an okay bounce off of that level, this $220 level. Got a little bit under it, it did, which also used to be resistance. A lot of these Wall Street best stocks, they're showing interesting low time frame technicals, which I'm not saying could make for the best swing trades, but for day trades, it's been working. You know, the past couple of weeks have been great. I've been day trading a lot of these types of stocks, and you know, I'd say out of like the last like 10 options alerts or options ideas I put out, like probably 8 of them were big wins. Only like 2 of them didn't really work out. So it's just been a really fun time trading a lot of these stocks, and it's working for now. It most likely will not work forever. Just for now, I'm enjoying it while it lasts. But also, the main reason that I've just been trading is just because that's where I see the money. You know, a lot of the names that I usually trade have already just ran. You know, they ran from pretty much May 15th to June. They had huge moves. I'm sure you remember the 2 weeks of trades that were amazing. So I've just been day trading these, and I got a list of stocks I'm also going to be bringing up. If we take a look at the Tradytics chatter feature, shout out Tradytics, they don't pay me, but I love the platform quite a bit. It has so many cool things like this, and they also hook up our Discord with the interesting flow, like the unusual options alerts, and the whole entire Tradytics bot in the Discord that's worth like $1,500 a year. You get that for free if you join the Discord. Links in the description. But let's look at this. Okay, so this is Wall Street Bets chatter. You could clearly see Clover at the top, BlackBerry, CLF, GME. You've probably heard most of these names. UWMC is getting up there. If we also come down over here, you could see a lot of these ones have actually been declining. Clover declined quite a bit. CLNE, BlackBerry declined a lot in the last month. But if we look at UWMC, it's one of the only ones inclining in chatter. You know, decline. All of these are declining. Clover is going back up a little bit if you really zoom in, but UWMC is consistently continuing to go higher, so that just adds on to what I'm looking at. I never use chatter alone to trade stocks. It's just something to give you like a cherry on top, you know? You could even see over here, CLNE, 33% higher mentions, and then UWMC 4.3%, while the rest of them are mostly red. Corsair as well. Just another interesting thing. A lot of crazy options activity on a lot of these names as well. I mean, Clover has been insane. Just go to sweeps. I mean, look how many call sweeps to both directions there was, and all of this was pretty much on Friday. So a lot of options activity in most of these names. We could take a look at UWMC as well. Look at these call sweeps to both sides. But the call to put ratio is 97% with mostly buys. So insane call option activity on a lot of these types of names. I mean, just look at these in a row, just the amount of call buying sweeps. Those are a lot of things I look at as well. But I actually comprised a few tickers that I'm going to bring up. These are not tickers that I went over during the group call in the Discord. Actually, one of them is PUBM. Reportedly, let me go back to my other layout. All right, this is potentially, again, do your own research, one of the highest shorted stocks right now. I've heard some people talking about it, bringing it up the past few days, and it's interesting. You know, you have this bullish Gartley pretty close to it, pretty close to a 618 from X to B, and then also pretty close to a 1618 from B to D. It reversed at that point as well. Not much divergence, and also not a lot of data on this one. But if we even zoom in further, it could even turn into an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then neckline or breakout point would be like 35.20. Everybody's talking about this one. We'll see what happens. You know, it pulled back 3% on Friday. That's what I want to look at. Now I have a bunch of other stocks that are highly shorted. Workhorse is one. Anything above this 15 level on Workhorse is bullish. It used to be a low back in November of last year, back in August of last year. Tried to hold it as support over here, eventually broke it, and now it's trying to reclaim that level as support. I mean, there's the 200-day moving average at 19 bucks. There's also a gap fill all the way up at like 31 bucks, which is also a previous resistance. This has already been going crazy. It went from, it pretty much just doubled in under a month. But if it can just hold this level, we'll see what can happen. I mean, this is a pretty flexible range, not a lot of contraction here. You've had a lot of volatility straight up, straight down, straight back up, kind of halfway down, and then you eventually broke up. And then on the way down, you just went straight right through it. So like this range between 15 and 30 is very, very volatile. If it can hold above 15, that's another one I'm watching. FUV, another highly shorted stock. The level on this one is 1245. Anything above that's pretty bullish. That's your 200-day moving average as well. Previous low from December of last year, previous low from March of this year. You know, not much divergence or pattern, and it's already gone from 7 to pretty much also doubled. But again, we're looking at the short-term levels. We're not saying that, you know, this is the best area to be buying this. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is if you can just look at the important levels on a lot of these names, you could trade around those levels. Continuing on, IGMS, if this thing can break over 96, I mean, what resistance is between 96 and 127? Really not much. Also kind of looking like a cup and handle on the 4-hour. Another highly shorted stock, AI. Anything above 58, that's the major support over here, could be bullish. Hidden bullish divergence developing on the 4-hour. Like, not only, again, and I talk about this all the time, what you love to see, and that's actually not hidden bullish divergence, correct me there, I didn't really zoom in. But still, decent looking MACD. But a lot of these stocks, you know, have technicals lining up with, I'm not going to say catalysts, but high short interest. And at the end of the day, that has been a catalyst for a lot of tickers in the last couple of weeks. A lot of people are getting stocks that are highly shorted because they want to be in for the potential squeeze. So these are a lot of ones that, you know, anything above 58, that's such a low risk. If you wanted to put a stop loss under, you know, 57.50, like that's such a low risk to try and play that. I mean, next major resistance on this is like 73. So I'm watching all these names. Geo is another one. Like 2 weeks ago on the stream, down over here at $6, I told you how bullish Geo was. I told you had a super high short interest. I showed you the bullish crab on the weekly with the falling wedge. I also showed you the classic bullish divergence on the daily. This was like 2 weeks ago down at $6. Last Tuesday it went to 11. I never put out a trade, but I brought this up on stream. I talked about it for like 10 minutes, saying it was really interesting. Even this one, you know, if this thing can reclaim 730, which actually did close above that on Friday, go down to the 1-hour chart, starting to show some hidden bullish divergence. Like, so many of these highly shorted Wall Street bet stocks, or even not Wall Street bet stocks, that just dumped on Thursday are showing 1-hour hidden bullish divergence. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this play out. It's been so many times that I've seen these technicals play out, again, on Wall Street bet stocks. And I say this all the time, and people don't want to believe it, but GME and AMC were so technical. Everything that happened on them was so technical. GME, the cup and handle, I alerted this to premium members. We got in options. They ended up running over 1,000% hidden bullish divergence. That was technical. Before any of the hype, it was super technical. Even on the daily, it had broken out of the symmetrical triangle, back tested the breakout. This is when I was super bullish on GME. Even back down over here, hidden bullish divergence on the daily. I brought this up on stream, you know? It's not my type of ticker, but I mentioned it on stream back in February. That went crazy. Same thing on AMC. It's had the same exact hidden bullish divergence. You can go back to the streams from February 10th to the 20th. Look for the times I brought up AMC. Most of the times I should have talked about this hidden bullish divergence. I believe I did. Even over here, the ice line at $2 on AMC. So many people I talked to, I didn't notice it, but a lot of people that I'm friends with in like the trading community told me about this, and I ignored them because I was like, it's AMC. What are they doing? But look at that support level. There was even classic bullish divergence. And even over here, symmetrical triangle, broke out of it, went crazy. After it broke out of this, that's when the technicals kind of went out the door, and it was just like a crazy move. Obviously, you know, technicals over here, but then eventually, let's go over to the 1-hour. Let me just delete all this for a second. Okay, there was another symmetrical triangle on AMC. It broke to the downside and it kept going back down. So like, the technicals are playing out, which is, I'm a technical trader, you know? So that's another thing I'm looking at on a lot of these charts. Another one is GTT, highly shorted stock apparently. Anything above 252 could be great. That used to be a resistance, it's now your support. Again, potential hidden bullish divergence on the 1-hour. You know, resistance dating back to February of this year. Now it's trying to become your support. Another one that's highly shorted, I believe. is WPG. Not much to talk about technically here. I mean, it needs to get back above 520 to be a good technical chart. But I guess it's actually also broken this demand line. So not the best technical one compared to the others, honestly. And then CLNE, this is another Wall Street bet stock. This one broke a supply line. It's already filled a gap from Tuesday. You know, really anything above, I'd probably say 990 on this is bullish. So a lot of these have day trade potential for sure, and I've been day trading a lot of these, you know. On your premium subscription, do you assist with what options to trade? Yeah, I put out options ideas. That's what we've pretty much been doing for the past week and a half. I put out a pretty low amount of swing trades. Most of the trades in premium for the last, at least for the last week, have been options trades. Last like Monday and Tuesday, we had a hat trick. We had clover calls go up 40% 2 different times in a row. And if you held them overnight, they went up like 500%. Which somebody did say that they did. Congratulations to them. We also had UWMC calls that I gave out the idea on. I'm not going to call it an alert. I gave out the idea. Those went up 450% overnight. I was in those. It was my best trade in a while. And then also SOS calls went up 100%. So that's what I've been doing. You know, I've been doing short-term trades on options for the last couple of weeks, and it's been working out. You know. But I'm continuing to manage my risk, position size, you know, all those things that you need to do when you're trading something as risky as options. Options ideas are shared. We don't offer advice, as we just do chart art, and no one here are advisors. We discuss how options work, and Champ does have videos correct. He will post what ideas he does personally play. Yeah, I always share if I get into options. I don't share every single option I get into, but most of the times I personally enter options. I also ping everybody in premium, and I even also ping some options that I just think look pretty interesting. I'll show you the chart, what I mean by that. Where's the weekly sheet posted on the Discord? Go to the links tab. It's towards the top of the Discord. It'll say links, and then you can go to a weekly sheet. For premium, it's in the premium swing updates channel, if you're asking about premium. I share it pretty much every day at the market close. I just share like a screenshot of the weekly sheet. Just because we had this scenario where I don't want to be sharing the actual link to the premium weekly sheet, because then people can see all the trades after they cancel their membership. So I share a screenshot. And also, even if you could just use the regular weekly sheet. If you come over here, it doesn't tell you the name of the ticker, just because, again, I don't want people, you know, getting it for free when other people are paying for it. But you could see after I close out the trades, I take out the asterisks that I have on the ongoing trades, and I tell you what it was, you know, like this, Tilray, Skills, and then and this is not even for premium, but I keep a track of I just started this like a month ago, but I've actually summarized all the weekly. There's about 32 weeks on this weekly sheet that is public for everybody to access. And I currently have about a 70% win rate. It could be better than a 70%, but remember, I go for 3-to-1 reward to risk, right? That's what I do on my trades. A lot of people with those 90% win rates go for like 2-to-1 reward to risk, where they have much more conservative targets. I have a lot more of aggressive targets. Like, look, somebody just anonymous IDEX just access the sheet. Anybody can access this. You can look at any week you want to, you know. So yeah, I mean, the last month of trades is an average of a 88% win rate. So yeah, it was like April that messed up the overall percent. Other than that, it's been it probably would be about an 80% if it wasn't for April. So yeah. And yeah, that's really most of the stocks I wanted to talk about. Yeah, let me just fix up my watch list. And hopefully that gave you some, you know, some of my thoughts going into the week, how I'm feeling. Futures still up an okay amount. Bitcoin is almost at 40K. It's about $250 away, $200 away from hitting 40K for the first time since, I believe, May 27th. Altcoin's doing pretty well right now. Yeah, that's really my thoughts going into the week. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out the links in the description. Thank you for all the support last week. I mean, we hit 100 likes on one of the streams last week for the second time ever. The views last week were crazy. All the likes, the tips. Thank you so much for all the tips last week. Best community on the internet. I'll say it time and time again. Our Discord is just, I mean, I'm in probably 5 or 6 different trading Discords. I could definitely say, obviously this is biased, but I feel like I could back it up. We have like one of the least, there's really nobody that's toxic in our Discord. I've seen a lot of other Discord. There's just a lot of toxic people that are especially like newer to trading. You know, we try our best to create a very healthy environment for everybody in Discord, and also educate people who are newer to trading. So I'm not going to say like we're obviously one of the smaller Discords compared to a lot of other communities, but 1,800 people strong is amazing. And honestly, you know, just the quality of the messages and the charts and the ideas shared in the Discord, I think is on a different level than most other. So yeah, really helpful for people. Also great for life advice. Absolutely. Thornbush, you should start dropping daily motivation quotes in Discord. Neutron Flux Lab says, been in 11 different Discords. This is the main place I'm in. Absolutely. We got a couple nice spots in the Discord that you can also utilize. Guaranteed to learn something new each and every single day, for sure. Let's try and get to 30 likes. We need 5 more likes to hit 30 likes. I know the Sunday night streams are usually slower because everybody's, you know, relaxing before the week starts. But shout out to all the people here. And yeah, that recaps most of the things I wanted to talk about. S&P futures up 0.06%, very little. NASDAQ futures are up 0.18%. And that's that. You know, good luck to everybody trading this week. Hopefully the analysis helped you out in some way or another. And yeah, we can do ticker requests now. Probably not going to do ticker requests for that long because I've already scanned probably 200 plus tickers today, so I'm trying to not get burnt out before the week even starts. So I'm probably just gonna do like one round of ticker requests tonight and then call it there. Probably a shorter stream as well. Thank you for the 30 likes, really appreciate it. And then we'll be back, and we're already back. You know, 9 p.m. EST for the next 4 days. I'll be live, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Put out 3 new crypto trades on my Twitter @ChampionVibe and in the Discord for everybody today. Yeah. Two hands, yeah. Okay, Max says, thanks champ, took a vacation last week, unfortunately missed many plays, but glad to be back. Glad to have you back, Max. Hope your vacation went well. Yeah, I've dropped my tea over my computer, I think 2 times in the past month. So, for the people who are confused about those chats. One of them, I think I got a tip and I dropped it everywhere, and then the other one, I was looking at the Dogecoin chart and I saw a bullish Gartley and I dropped my tea as well. It's usually when I go like this and I get like hyped up about something, I just knock it over. So I just keep on the other table now. Yeah, we've been good for a couple weeks. Alright, let's take a look at these. HYLN, it double bottomed down at around $8. I was so close to putting out a trade, but earnings were literally the only reason I did not put out a trade. I usually don't put out trades right before earnings, like waiting till after they're done, just because you never know. I'm personally rather safe than sorry, so I never put out the trade on it. There was like triple classic bullish divergence at a double bottom, looked amazing. Earnings really didn't matter. It was obviously, I hope it was priced in, you know. I hope earnings were priced in by then. And then it confirmed the double bottom when it broke over 11 bucks really. That's your support now, $11. Next resistance is probably around 15 bucks. Previous support, previous high, kind of in between support and resistance, not much divergence. Probably a demand line like this for both sides. A little bit of a ascending broadening wedge if you really want to zoom in there. That's HYLN. GENI. This is your demand line. I'd say you're right at it. You closed right at it on Friday. Probably something. This is probably a rising wedge. You have 3 touches on the top, 3 touches on the bottom. Yeah, this is a rising wedge. There's not much data on the chart, so I don't know how much any of the technicals matter for something, you know, that just IPO'd this year on the daily time frame. Yeah, but you can have this hidden bullish divergence. I mean, this is your make or break area. You just want the hidden bullish divergence to play out, bounce at the demand line, and then run back up. If it doesn't happen, then your next support is 1692, and then after that, 1385. Next one is Matic Crypto. It's breaking out as we speak. Broke out of this supply line. Probably could have looked at it like a downsloping channel, falling wedge. Doesn't matter at this point. Hidden bullish divergence developing on the daily. Pretty good chart alongside a lot of other altcoins right now. A lot of them, you know, this is why I said, if you remember from like May 10th to like May 13th, all of the growth stocks and SPACs and EVs, they were at their lowest levels the whole entire, probably for the past 6 months. I was saying every single night on stream, you know, major corrections bring major opportunity. You cannot get those really good harmonic patterns that are 2 months long without a major drop in price like we got on Fisker, like we got an XPIV, like we got an LI. You can't get those types of harmonics without pain. You know, it takes pain to create those beautiful harmonics that lead to success and money and happiness and excitement that we've seen in the past 2 or 3 weeks. And a lot of these cryptos have shown pain all throughout May, with Bitcoin falling from 65K down to 30K. And now these cryptos are showing opportunity like growth stocks did around May 10th to 15th. So we'll see if the technicals play out. Doesn't mean for sure they're gonna go up. It also just depends on the market sentiment. But these are the types of things that can reverse market psychology and sentiment. And that's really what you're using technicals to kind of anticipate. You know, you're anticipating the next potential moves using historical data and probability, right? So yeah, really anything above $1 on this is bullish, but in general, you probably just want to hold over like this previous low from like 118. CCIV, anything above 24 is bullish. Next true resistance is like 33 bucks. It also double bottomed at 17. Not much divergence on the 4-hour. Classic bullish divergence on the daily has been confirmed for a while. You just got to hold above 24. That's all you're looking to do on CCIV. OKTA, classic bullish divergence is confirmed on the daily. If it's 226 level used to be resistance in August and September of last year. You definitely want to break back above it. If you do, this is probably your next area that you're headed to. Between the 200-day moving average and this gap fill around like, you know, 240-ish to that range. And then there's another gap fill at like 254. Not much of a pattern though. So yeah, that's really it for OKTA. Snow is next. This looks like, just the idea of this looks pretty interesting. This area, very, very clear. This 241 level, got to get back above it. If you can hold above 241 on Snow, that's really, really good. Next resistance will be 267, after that 328. So you just got to get back above that 241 level. That's really it for Snow. CMPI, not a lot of data to work with. I mean, 588 is your support. You want to hold that. Probably just range bound for right now, between 6 and 770. That's your range, whichever way it breaks out. Probably would be telling. Keep in mind that there could be, or there is, daily hidden bearish divergence developing. It's not confirmed yet, and it's also stalling out a little bit as of Friday's close. It is increasing again, but there's a potential for it if you get the MACD crossover to red. And that's that. There is no such thing as talent. This is hard work and dedication from McGregor. McGregor has a lot of really good quotes. Like, most of them just come from like press conferences or weigh-ins, or also post-fight speeches. I guess that's most of the times where he talks, so that sounded pretty dumb. But SPWR, it's trying to get back above the 200-day moving average. If it can really maintain above that, that's not really that great. I'd say 29.22 is your next resistance. After that, 38.48. That's really it. I don't, see much of a pattern here, and I don't really see any divergence either. So that's really it for SPWR. Sundial, you know, I put out an alert on Sundial for premium right over here at 70 cents. It hit both targets, went much higher. At this point, I'm not too sure. You know, there's no divergence. You fell back under 110. You definitely have to get back above 110 on Sundial. You know, it already just went up from 70 cents to $1.50, which is pretty much a double in price in less than a month. Of course, it's gone much crazier before. It could probably do it again. Just, you know, I like entering in these areas, which I quite literally did. These areas, I'm not too sure. You know, it's at the golden retrace pretty much. We'll see if that actually holds. That was also previous high from April 20th, 420, unintended on this stock. So yeah, we'll see what happens. LEV, sure. Vibes for the man. Get comfortable in a circle of those that make you uncomfortable from their success. This will make you successful. Get comfortable in a circle of those that make you uncomfortable from their... Oh, okay. That didn't make sense to me the first time how I read it. Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it. LEV. It's trying to flip this previous resistance into a support. If it can do it, $28 isn't really the only level to look at from here. You just gotta hold above $19. You know, that was your previous resistance at the end of April. There's not much of a pattern here. Classic bearish divergence on the daily is possible if the MACD goes back to red on the MACD. I just said MACD twice. That not a lot of data to work with. You just want to hold above 19. Christian, hey, how you doing? Thank you for the $10. Pretty quick message, just said hi. Let's get some vibes in the chat for Christian. How you doing? Hope you're all good. Appreciate the $10. Let's go. Vibes in the chat. Yes, LEV. Next one is I already have a few more on my watches, but we already looked at CLNE earlier. We'll look at it again. SPWR on the weekly, hidden bullish divergence back over the 200-day moving average, over a previous resistance of 24. Yeah, on the weekly, this is amazing. You know, really good on the weekly. Just remember, it's the weekly time frame, so it could take a lot longer to play out. First weekly close over the 200-day moving average since the end of April. Hidden bullish diverge. Yeah, good. And all this is happening around the golden retrace. Look how the 618 lines up with that previous resistance. That's amazing. Just got to hold above 2378 on the weekly closes. BBIG, not much I can do here from a technical standpoint. A lot of random pumps and quite literally dumps, like over here and over here and over here. It's above 416. That was your low in December of 2018 on one of the random dumps. It was your high in July before another correction. You're above it. As long as you can hold above it, it's fine. Next resistance is $6. That's where you closed on January, or that's where you opened on January 21st. I mean, and that was also your high on June 9th, pretty recently. IDEX, it was trying to break out of that 343 level, but it rejected it, and now it's like, now potential classic bearish divergence on the daily. You got to keep an eye on. It's still, you know, it has like that rounding action. You can clearly see, you know, this rounding action. So I just would like to see this get back above like 340. It was resistance here, and if we zoom in, it was resistance over here and here. You know, 342 it has to get back above that. CLNE, it broke out of the supply line. In my opinion, anything above 990 is bullish. You just got to hold that. Not a lot of, you know, technicals to look at here, though. It's pretty random price movement from the last week. Gapped up with a lot of other things last Tuesday, I believe. SOFI, it looks like it's starting to create definitely a demand line. I don't know if I'd call this a triangle just yet, but sure. That's your supply line, that's your demand line. Whichever way it breaks out of this will probably be telling, you know. So just keep all that in mind. And yeah, 2454 is your resistance. Just gotta hold above that. Christian says, been doing great, man. Just been putting money back into the IRA. Glad to hear that. Got to keep those IRAs in check. Nice to see you in the chat. Do you look at float a lot in terms of just the amount of shares? Or do you want, you're talking about like float short, like if you're just saying like the regular float that a stock has? Not that much. I mean, I like to know what the market cap is in general, but you know, I mainly just look at the volume on the chart because I'm mainly a trader, so I'm not too concerned with the float day in and day out. If I'm in something for like a longer term play, then probably yeah. But if I'm just, you know, swing trading something, I just care more about the volume. I just want to make sure it's liquid enough for me to get my buy and sell orders without some random gaps. That's really what I look at. GOED. Okay, do an explanation on the risk reward on the charts. Yeah, sure. There probably is some sort of resource I explain it in. I can't think of one. It's probably somewhere in the course. But yeah, I'll just show you really quickly. So you always want to do reward to risk on all your trades. You know, this is something I learned from Mitch Ray, just so that you're putting yourself in the house's position, right? You know, you want to be the house. If you give yourself a 3 reward to risk minimum, you know, on your winning trades, you're making a very nice amount of profit, and on your losing trades, you're only losing a little bit. So the way I use these reward to risk boxes is just to really visualize my targets, my entries, and my stop losses. You always want to enter a trade with a plan, so you don't get surprised. That's something that Mark Douglas would always talk about. You never want to be surprised during a trade. Anything is always possible, and you have to account for both sides of price action. So yeah, 3 reward to risk. Technically, if you have a 3 reward to risk, you'll need to be winning a third of your trades to be a profitable trader, because the 1/3 of trades that you're winning is a nice amount of profit, and then the 2/3 you're losing is a little amount of loss. I have a 70% win rate right now, so on 70% of my trades I'm making that much profit, and then only on 30% of my trades I'm losing like this little amount. So it really does add up. And the way I use the boxes is like this little gray area, which will be these gray numbers over here, is my entry. The top of the green box, which will be this green number right here, is my target, and then the bottom of the green box will be my stop losses, which are these numbers right over here. That's pretty much how I use it. Hopefully that answers your question. GENI, we already looked at earlier. Got to hold above this demand line of the rising wedge. Hopefully the hidden bullish divergence plays out. If it doesn't, take caution. ESPR trying to get back above $26. That's the important level. You know, it's testing it. It is showing some resistance there. You just got to break back above 26. If you do, next resistance would be like $30.84. You do have the 200-day moving average around like 29 though. TELL. Back under 519. That was the low from August of 2019. No edge on the 4-hour or the daily. It's just gone too crazy for a swing trade technical edge. I could see it going either way. On the 1-hour, you do have classic bullish divergence developing. I still don't see much of a pattern here. Maybe a harmonic on the 1-hour. Could be a Gartley if it drops down to the 786, which it hasn't yet. That's really it. You know, there's not much I can do here when it's a straight line up. Corsair in the middle of a range, whichever way it breaks will probably be telling. Support 29.46, resistance $35. It's right in the middle, so no pattern, no divergence on the daily. GOED, I don't know what this is. You know, for something to drop from, is this even real? Yeah, from 17 to like $6 in a day is a very scary. I guess it is above this demand line. It fell under it for a little bit, then it got back above it. You definitely want to hold that. I don't see any divergence. I mean, maybe it's a falling wedge if you ignore the whatever this is, but also like this could be like, you know, the falling wedge already played out. It's just I don't know what happened here, if there was some sort of catalyst. It also looks like the volume was quite literally nothing until this day, and that's when the volume really picked up. Resistance is 567. That's really all I could say on that one. ESPR for puts on the 1 hour. I didn't think I looked at that. I don't think I looked at that. Short setup on the 1 hour. MACD went back to red. I'm not exactly sure what you're looking at, but you know, shared in the Discord. It's at resistance. That's I was looking at this. Yeah, it's at resistance. If it pretty easy to manage your risk if you want to get puts. You just want to make sure it doesn't get back above like 25. I mean like 26.70, something around there. Just some room for loss. Let's see what else we got here. Not sure if you looked at it already, but been playing around with my options money and thinking about rocket puts. Oh, I was talking about Neutron Flux Lab said ESPR puts, I think, up higher in the chat. What do you say? Yeah. But thinking about rocket puts, only considering this 1 hour looks bullish. We'll take a look at it. Appreciate it. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm gonna say Humberto. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. ENG. Yeah, it's always definitely better to tell me what you see on the chart. Just make it a little bit easier. But it's all good. All right, rocket first. You know, I mean, this thing just went from 16 to 22, and it's already pulled back a lot. The 1 hour does have hidden bullish divergence, and it is trying to create this support around $20, which is also pretty historical, I believe. Actually, no, the support was like 19. So I have no clue on rocket here. You know, it's in between support and resistance. I don't see any divergence. I mean, eventually this could become hidden bearish divergence on the daily, but it still has a long way to go. It is still under the 200-day moving average and the $22 level, but it's also above the $17 level and the $19 level. You know, I'm not too sure for either direction on rocket. I really can see going either way. On the 4 hour, that hidden bearish divergence is a lot more developed. So that's probably the most bearish thing on this chart, the 4 hour MACD and RSI. And the next support, if it really does pull back, would be like 1950. So that's what I'd be looking at. Yeah, 4 hour. Yep. That would be what I'd be playing. So you just want to make sure that that MACD goes to red and stays red if you're playing puts. You'd really be playing the oscillators. I don't really know if there's anything else you'd be playing. So you'd be playing the 4 hour oscillators. ENG, looks like I've looked at it, bullish, pretty close to a bullish bat, bounce at the PCZ. Now it's finding resistance at the 200-day moving average. As long as it's above 264, it's fine. You just got to continue to hold above that. You do have a resistance at like 310. Looks like it did actually test that last week, which was also the 200-day moving average, and reject it. So if you can ever break above 310, 382 is the next resistance, and your support is 264. SESN, not too sure. It's just going straight up on the weekly. 354 is your support, $6 is your resistance. That's really it. Definitely looks like the composite operator was testing out his method over here. That's just how I'm going to put it. And now he's making money, right? He's deeply in profit. This is where the composite operator was accumulating his position, down in these levels. And then he let it go. GP, bullish Gartley bounced at the PCZ. There was also classic bullish divergence. This was the area, right? You had a very clear buy signal right really where it bottomed. It was at the 786. It had classic bullish divergence on the MACD. And now it's going, I mean, next resistance is like $20, 200-day moving average, and it's your high from the end of April. If it breaks that, then you got like 25.77 from this high and these highs. In terms of support, probably just your low from like May 13th. That's like your support. Oh yeah, Fisker. You know, at this point, I don't know what to say about Fisker really. I obviously still love the company for the long term, but in the eyes of a swing trader, this is just something where it's like, I don't touch it. You know, this is when I put out the swing trade alert down at 10 bucks. It's gone up 80% since then. So when something goes up 80% in a month, it's like, there's probably better value elsewhere. And even if Fisker goes to $30, there still is probably better value elsewhere, even if it does that in the short term. It is relatively highly shorted from what I saw today. But you know, not much of a technical edge here, other than it is above 17 previous resistance. Any close above 17 is still technically very bullish. But the divergence and the bullish butterfly PCZ was down at 1030. You know, I tried to scream this from the top of my lungs in the beginning of May. Fortunately, not too many people cared. I'm not saying you didn't. All you typed in was a taker. But unfortunately, back here, when it is at the lowest level it's been at since, you know, October, people thought it was over. And nobody asked me, like, I've been getting so many DMs about Fisker in the last week. And they're the same message. Can Fisker go back to 30? I've been getting that in the last week. But nobody was messaging me at $10. Do you think Fisker can realistically go back up to $17 after dropping from 30? Nobody asked me that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just talking about the psychology of a swing trader. A true swing trader takes longs where it makes technical sense. You know, here, it could go either way. I could really see it going either way. In terms of long term, I've said it a million times before. I think Fisker will one day be $100 plus. It's my favorite company, my favorite stock, but I have to be unbiased when it comes to the short term and say I have no clue. And yeah, until we get another, you know, harmonic with bullish divergence at an ice line, I don't know. But we've gotten 2 of those already, so maybe there'll be a 3rd one at some point. If not, let the Roth IRA and the long-term accounts run. Let them run. Let them have some fun. But yeah, it's Fisker. Bitcoin tried to test 40K, pulled back to 39K. S&P futures up 0.08%. NASDAQ futures up 0.20%. Yeah, we'll take a look at Palantir. Schedule for live streams is Sunday night to Thursday night, 9 p.m. EST. The only 2 days I don't stream on are Friday and Saturday because the market is closed the day after. So basically any day where the market is open the next day, I'll stream. We've had a few days this year where the market was closed on like a Monday. So I didn't stream on the Sunday because the market was closed. So just the easiest way to put it, if the market's going to be open the next day, I'll be live at 9 p.m. EST. That's just how I do it. Yeah. Palantir, CELH, BYDDF, Palantir. If it can hold above 24 bucks, that's pretty much where it topped out before making that move down to 17. If it can hold above that now, that's great. It could turn into a cup and handle. You know, these were the areas where I was really bullish on Palantir, falling wedge and PCC of a bullish crab. At this point, it's already ran quite a bit. Could it keep running? I think so, as long as it can hold 24. Not a super flexible range. You could have some fake outs like it did over here. Fell under it, put in a bullish pin mark candle, got back above it. You know, I would like to see this continue to close above 24. And if it really can hold this level, I mean, there's not much resistance until 29.50. But definitely a better technical edge down over there. Aside from support, you know, there's more of a domain line in a harmonic PCZ. CELH, no clue. You know, it gapped down, it looks like, on Thursday morning. You know, right over here, it's like I have no clue. It just gapped down. It really did nothing for Thursday and Friday. There's support way lower, there's resistance way higher. Just another area where I don't know. I don't see any divergence or pattern or all those things that I look for to give me an increased probability. BYDDF, There's a gap fill to 30 bucks. There's also a lot of gaps on this chart, so I don't know how much it matters, but it's there. It's at this make or break area. That previous consolidation distribution range from the end of February is now becoming resistance. It pulled back at it on Friday. There was classic bullish divergence over here. If you ignore this little red MACD island, you take a look at the 4-hour, still the same thing. Kind of does look like a rounding bottom, which is good. Obviously better entry areas, but that's really all I can talk about here. Again, I don't like making up things. If I see something, I'll bring it up. If I don't, you know, there's thousands of other charts. You go either way. Microsoft, Skills, LTHM, DM. I'm just keep it. Yeah, we did CLNE. It's just got to hold above that previous supply line. Right over here, this 990. Anything above 990 I think is bullish. That was your low from March of this year when the S&P was at the bottom of the wedge. It was also support for a little bit at the end of January. That's the most. It was even your daily candle close on like December 23rd. That's the important level to me. I don't know if there's anything else there. It actually was a resistance back in 2009 and a support back in 2008 and a support back in 2011. So that's the important level, 990. It's above it for now, which is good. Wall Street bet stock. Microsoft, same analysis as every day. Anything above 245 is bullish. Made a very nice move on Thursday. It was up 1.5%, which for Microsoft is a pretty good day. There still is a gap fill to 260. Hidden bullish divergence is currently playing out. As I've been saying since for the last week or two, anything above 245 is bullish. That was the previous all-time high. You pretty much put in a bullish pin bar candle when you kind of broke under it, which means that the bulls were not giving it up. And since that candle signal, it's been pretty much just going up, aside from a pullback on like what, Tuesday last week. Yes, Microsoft Skills. At this point, I'm not too sure. This was a premium trade, alerted at 1531. Hit both targets for 58% profit. Actually hit the second target last week. At this point, I don't know. This is also a highly shorted stock, reportedly. So we'll see if it can really squeeze. I don't think it's even squeezed. I just think it was a really good technical setup, and it's been playing out. Also, a lot of people are fundamentally bullish on this. So, support is not that clear. Resistance is not that clear. Can't really, I guess this is a support, the previous high, but it's like right at it. So I'm not sure if it's going to hold it or break it. And if you're looking at resistance, if we clear up the chart, there's just not much to really talk about. You could just pick out like the little candle highs like this and this. And like kind of that as resistances. That's probably just all you could do for resistance, and that previous high would probably be your support. Also the 200-day moving average. That Skills, LTHM. Got to get back above 1950, and that's literally it. There's no divergence, there's no support. Add this little triangle inside of a support resistance range. Maybe it's trying to back test that now. It's got to do a little bit better than this. You got to get back above 1950, and then you could see 2274 eventually. Desktop metal. It pretty much did double bottom at 11 bucks, ran back up to the 200-day moving average, rejected it. There is confirmed classic bearish divergence on the daily, so not good. Your support is 1050. That even used to be a support back in October of last year. I'm saying not good in terms of the bearish divergence. I'm not saying it's a bad chart. All I'm saying is just keep that in mind. I don't know if it's going to go up or down, but I definitely see things with higher probability in other places. Of course, anything's possible. I look at 3,000 tickers a day. I'm going to be wrong on probably 20% of them. What was that song? I was definitely exaggerating there as well, but you get what I'm saying. DraftKings, Apple. If you're saying I'm not going to like it, I'll literally glance at the chart. Yeah, there's nothing I can do there. DraftKings, it's back above the 200-day moving average, and that's flipped into support. I was super bullish on it down here. I got into call options down here. It was the PCZ of a bullish bat and a bullish deep crab lined up at the same price. Reclaimed the $44 historical area, previous resistance and support. Beautiful. It was amazing over here, and that's why it's up here now. Now it's back over the 200-day moving average. You just got to hold it. That's really it. Apple, same thing. You just got to hold this demand line, ascending triangle above the 200-day moving average. Anything that's any close above this demand line is good. Not much else to talk about there. Bullish, very long-term pattern dating back to August of last year. One of my favorite long-term stocks. SOFI. It's just kind of creating this. There's only 2 touches on the top and bottom, so there's not 5 touches. It's not official, but you could see it. Lower high, higher low. Just price contraction between $20, which is your support, and then 25, which is your resistance. Whichever way it breaks will probably be telling. And then the final, this is gonna be the final request of the night. PSTH over to the daily. This is a recent alert. It's down maybe like 0.5%, 1% since the entry, but the classic bullish divergence is starting to develop on the daily. You just got to get above 2341. That's the important thing on this one. Got to get above it, because otherwise you do not want to revisit the demand line. That would be horrible. That would pretty much stop out the trade. So you want to get above 2341 and flip that into support and hopefully eventually fill the gap. You know, that's the idea there. So I think that's going to be it for like charting for the rest of the day. Definitely a little, I'm not going to say burnt out, but I've probably already charted for about like 3 or 4 hours today, and the market's literally closed. So future is still green. I don't know, anybody, I'm down to talk if there's anything in the chat you want me to talk about. We still got 41 people in here, which is amazing. Make sure to hit that like button. Let's try and get to 50 likes. Hopefully you've been enjoying the stream. I definitely pack like the first half an hour of the stream with a lot of educational stuff and my personal insight. So if you missed out on that, definitely watch the replay. It'll be up as soon as I end the stream. I believe if you're I believe you could actually already just go back using the scroll bar. I think it records it as I stream. So yeah, that'll probably be it. Hope everybody has a great week trading this week. I don't know how many times I need to say it. I'll say it time and time again just because I truly believe in it so much. Join the Discord. That's probably the thing I say the most on the stream. It's just, I want to see all of you in the Discord. I want to talk to you all while the market's open, while the market's closed. I want to chat with everybody, get to know everybody. Links in the description. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the stream. I stream every single night at 9 p.m. EST. And yeah, every single night that the market is open the next day, I stream. I talk about the overall market. I talk about Bitcoin. I talk about crypto. I talk about futures. I talk about all the different sectors and stocks. I put out trades for both, you know, anybody who follows me and premium members, just kind of giving like a brief overlaps of what I do to people who, you know, are in the stream for the first time ever. So yeah, I feel like we kind of, maybe, I don't know, if you're new in the stream and this is the first time watching the stream, let me know in the chat. So I think we might have hit the algorithm tonight. I think my stream did get suggested because usually we don't have 40 people in like an hour, because we were at like 30 people. It looks like we got like a little bit of a spike in viewers. So I think the algorithm actually worked tonight, which is great. Helps to grow the stream so I can help out more people. Thoughts on CP3? Not too caught up with, believe, you know, what's going on with basketball. I mean, the Lakers, I believe you're talking about Chris Paul. Let me take a look. I don't even know what team he's on at this point. Chris Paul, what team is he on? I'm a Lakers fan. Is he on the Suns? Great, it's the Suns. So just because it's the Suns, I don't know how I feel. You know, Suns and Lakers didn't go so well. I have nothing against him. I just don't know much about him. Do you watch any shows or good movies recently? Shows? Not really. The last great show I watched, like really good show, was Billions. Definitely watch Billions if you haven't. Amazing show, especially if you're a trader or even if you're not. 3 likes away from hitting 50 likes, so hit that like button. Neutron is definitely where I go with Harmonix. He's put in the work. Yep, new Billions season is coming September. Huge fan of Billions. I have I have a Billions shirt that I wear on stream sometimes. It says Axe Capital. You might notice it the next time I wear it. Billions is probably like my probably a top 3 favorite show of all time. I actually have like my favorite shows and movies on a list that I made. I need to update it because I made this in like high school. Let's see if I still have it. Yeah, I do. So favorite movies, I got Wolf of Wall Street, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Godfather, The Kingsman, Scarface, Fast and Furious 2. I believe that was like Too Fast, Too Furious, something like that. Guardians of the Galaxy was really good. Rocky 2 is my favorite Rocky. Back to the Future. A lot of them are pretty popular movies. They're not really that, you know, unique, I'd say. But probably my overall favorite movie franchise or series is The Godfather. And I actually don't have a list of favorite TV shows, I think. Yeah, I don't. I've watched a lot of really good TV shows. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. Billions is just like the last good one I can remember. One of my favorite shows ever, I don't know if Medic Vibe is in the chat, but Lost is one of my favorite shows ever. I watched it probably like it was a while ago when I watched it. I'm sure a lot of people here have watched Lost. And yeah, thank you for the 50 likes. We got it. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming out to the stream. Yeah, good luck to Phoenix. Are they still doing well? I'm not too sure. And yeah, hope everybody has a good night. Good luck trading this week. Thank you for watching the stream. Peace out.
Did you stand there all alone? Oh, I cannot explain what's going down. I can see you standing next to me, in and out, somewhere else right now. You sigh, look away. I can see it clear as day. Close your eyes, so afraid. Hide behind that baby face. Do, 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 do. You can drive all night, looking for the answers in the pouring rain. You wanna find peace of mind, looking for the answers. Funny how it seems like yesterday. As I recall, you were looking out of place, gathered up your things and take that picture from that frame. I'll put it in my pocket so that every day you're with me. I'll keep you close to my heart. Give me one more kiss before the boys arrive. Nashville to San Francisco is a hell of a drive, but don't worry, the Lord is good when the road is long, and we'll be back before you know. You know, yeah. I said you know, you know.
his house. Sydney sitting on the couch, what she going on about? I don't even care if you were making out. I guess you worked it out, yeah.
My baby's a sailboat captain at sea. We don't give a damn, we do as we please. My baby's a sailboat captain at sea. My gal is a good one, tells me she's mine. Wish I was better looking, baby, don't mind. My gal is a good one, tells me she's mine. All I ever wanted was to make you happy, give you the truth, anything to make you love me, any more than you do. My baby's a sailboat captain at sea. We don't give a damn, we do as we please. My baby's a sailboat captain at sea. My gal is a good one, tells me she's mine. Wish I was better looking, baby, don't mind. My gal is a good one, tells me she's mine. My baby's a saint just like old George, good with the dagger, skilled with the sword. All bullshit aside, she's all that more. All I ever wanted was to make you happy, spit it all out. Anything to make me love you. Yeah, less than I do now. But you were in my head, we were in your bed. You said, yeah, I'm so fucking sorry for this. Lord knows she goes, she's gone. Say you don't mean that. Lord knows she goes, she's gone. baby's a sailboat captain at sea. We don't give a damn, we do as we please. My baby's a sailboat captain.